Hi everyone! Mighty Lance has redeemed drink.
Is it because it's only one
It is. Yeah, well, there we go. Quick hydrate. Hi everyone! Welcome to this evening's stream where I'm going to be painting some orcs. More orcs from Reaper Miniatures. These are the Dungeon Dwellers, Ragged Wound Tribe, I believe they are. Orcs from the Dungeon Dwellers range. And these guys in particular are out with the Bones 5 Kickstarter things. Hi Muse's Touch, hi Tony, I think I saw Sharon, Pete, hi everyone. Have I missed anybody that was there in the chat? I do apologise if I've missed you, hope you're all well. Sorry. Gerald, hi Gerald. Hi everyone, hope you've had a great day. Going to be beginning by just painting a little bit of Choco Brown from Green Stuff World onto the fair areas on my orcs. So I've got 5 orcs in total that I'm painting all the same. Well, it would be rude of me not to. First time chat from Warlord Kritisk. Hi, good evening. Welcome. I'll just hydrate here with my Brewdog Lost Lager. Excuse me, slurping. I do apologise. Hi everyone. Yeah, so I just will finish this little bit of. In fact, I won't. I'll show you it up here. So this is one of the guys. He's got a big two-handed axe. Sorry about the glare from the light. Oh, there we go. Super. So this guy is charging. So just before the stream started, I went over the skin. So previously I'd done the skin with Reaper Knoll Pelt from the Bones paint range, which is quite a bright green, and then I've just used some old Citadel washed Thraka green over the top, just a thin wash of that, just to bring out the detail, the recesses, and then we're going to highlight a little with a paler colour. So yeah, just working on some fur with this Choco Brown, a nice like reddy brown. Yeah. Do this on all 5 figures at once so they look nice and cohesive while they're rampaging across the tabletop. So these are awesome looking minis. I'm going to be painting or submitting at least one of these for an RCL challenge, which I will show you which one in a second. Not this guy. In our Discord we are doing a large group challenge for the first quarter with the theme of Lord of the Rings, and I think these orcs look particularly in keeping with Lord of the Rings orcs. They make me think of the original like animated live action Lord of the Rings film from when I was a kid.
Hi, Maxie.
Hi, welcome. So that's what I'm drawn to these. So I'm going to be submitting one of these guys as my Lord of the Rings theme mini, and the one that I'm going to be picking is this guy here with his like cutlass and shield. So we'll do his fur next. He's just got some little bits just poking out from under his armour. So it's going to be a series of browns this evening, just getting various base tones on these guys. And if we can get all the base colours done, then we'll move on to some highlights. It'd be really awesome if we could get them finished this evening, but I don't think I will be able to. there's a lot going on these guys. A lot of studs on their armour. So while I've painted base coat on most of the metal work, I haven't done the studs yet because I'll just pop those in as a last thing. Thanks for following. JL Mini Sparks. Hi, thank you. Let's get that bit around there. Try and not paint all over the bits that I've already done. I better turn the volume off on that one. My other, or my phone blipping, telling me that somebody's walking past the shop. So I'm currently using Green Stuff World Choco Brown for this colour. Just doing this fur edging with some Choco Brown, and then we're going to move on next to, I think I used German Camo Black Brown for the areas that you might be able to tell are already brown on these. So I think I'm gonna move on to Reaper Russet Brown for some of the other bits and pieces, and then we will go to some Shield Brown for the wood on their shields. Excellent, good, thank you. Yeah, awesome. We're all good here. It's been a fairly relaxing day today, haven't we, Mrs. MLG? We've taken the dog a walk and done a bit of work. It's been good, thank you. Right, this guy's got a lot more fur around his shoulders as well, so let's get this guy sorted. A variety of different armor styles on these guys, but I do want to paint a lot of the like fur and other stuff rather than making them totally individual minis. I want them to be similar in theme, shall we say, and colour palette. Because I want them to look like they're all the same tribe or what have you. So let's presume that all these furs have come from the same herd of buffalo or what have you that these orcs have captured. So I think that the metal versions of these guys, and I think that it looks as though Reaper are going to be doing Bones USA versions of a lot of the Dungeon Dwellers minis, but these guys are in the metal version. I'm sure they are the Ragged Wound tribe. I could be wrong, that might be the goblins. That name suits to slot into my D&D Pathfinder setting. Got an itch on my head. There's a link in the chat to Dungeon Dwellers from the Reaper range. Thank you very much, Mrs. MLG, for putting that in there. Some, like the Dungeon Dwellers range isn't huge. There's maybe only I think 40 figures in there currently. Might be a couple less, but they're all really nice figures and more classic fantasy, I would say, than some of the like more elaborate things that you see currently in the new era of fantasy minis. getting wilder and wilder with bigger and bigger weapons. These guys are definitely, while they're scaled similarly to modern figures, they're definitely themed more like classic fantasy from the 80s or whatever.
Your art says that the dungeon dwellers are their favourite.
Ah, yeah, they are nice. They're really nice figures. Yeah, I was having a look, and it appears that there's going to be some additions, but rather than them being in metal, they're going to be in the Bones USA range. So they're picking out a few of the existing minis that are available in metal and bones, and producing them in Bones USA, so they can add them to the Dungeon Dwellers range. One of them in particular, there's some of the kobolds, and there's a wraith mini. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but there's a wraith with a couple of gravestones that was on the page the other day. No fair on those two guys, so let's give the brush a good wash and then we shall move. There's a good close-up of my arm, just for everybody's viewing pleasure. Thought you might like that. So here's, where is he? This is the guy that I'm going to be submitting as my contribution to the large group. He's a nice chunky burly warrior. Geralt says he really likes the Henchman and Hirelings set. Yeah, that's a really funky box set that Reaper have done. It's got 20 figures in or something like that, including a guy with a 10-foot pole, which if you ever used to play classic Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition and what have you, having a 10-foot pole for setting traps off and stuff was almost a necessity in most adventuring parties. Tony says he's been slowly working through them. The Henchmen and Hirelings ones, I presume. Yeah, there's some pretty funky sculpts in there. Right then, so we're going to move on to some Russet Brown, and what I'm going to do with the Russet Brown is I'm going to pick out like the belts and scabbards and other pouches and other bits and pieces. And then, because Russet Brown is, I would say, a lot more like a leather brown, but then we'll highlight this with some actual leather brown. So here on the table I've got, so Russet Brown is a Reaper colour, and I'm going to highlight it with some Green Stuff World leather brown. Tony's a 1st edition player. I remember him telling me that once before. Yeah, back in the days we've played a bit of like some of the early editions, but back in the day when you used to be able to write a character in about 5 minutes on the back of an index card or I don't know. Is it a current? It can't be anyway, can it? It's not a current saying to say on the back of a fag packet. Yeah. Hi, Red Snail. Yeah, Cairn Wraith is a must-buy. Yeah, that's the figure I was thinking of. The Cairn Wraith. There's the Dungeon Dwellers metal version of the Cairn Wraith, and then I'm sure it's the same mini, but that's coming in Bones USA into the range I saw, but it's got a couple of gravestones included with it. I'm sure it's the same mini. I could be wrong. But yeah, I spotted that yesterday or the day before as a new release. Right then, so we've got some leathery bits on that. Oh, he's got this like arm bracelet thing on, like a, what do you call it, a wristlet or a vambrace thing going on there. Just touch that in as well. So this is Russet Brown from Reaper Miniatures. This is my favourite brown for doing a lot of leather and other light brown kind of stuff on minis. So this is 9199 Russet Brown from Reaper Minis. It's a fab mid brown, I would call it. I would call it a mid brown colour. Just get very carefully around there. Just realised that what is that middle brown again? Russet brown. Russet brown. What was I going to say? Just realised that I haven't got my actual glasses for painting on, so I'm just going to, when I finish just doing this little, I'm going to swap my glasses. It's a little reddish, shall we say? Right, swap my glasses. They look very same. Choco Brown. Ah. Oh, sorry. Yes. Yeah. Now I'm with you. Now I'm with you. I do apologise. Yes, Choco Brown from Green Stuff World. Yeah. Sorry. Yep. Yes. This one is Choco Brown. That's right. What have I done now? Just made my glasses really smudgy. Okay. So this is Reaper, an old HD colour burning orange that I was using last night, so forget about that one, don't worry about that one. And this is Choco Brown from Green Stuff World, and this one here is Russet Brown. They are, that's why I was trying to clean them. Let's have a quick hydrate before we dive back in. Alright, let's have a quick drink. Mrs. MLG is just cleaning my glasses for me because she's awesome. So let's... Wonderful. Excellent. Tony says, it's a nice brown, Sharon. Great for darker skin tones. Choco Brown, I assume you're talking about there, Tony. Is that? So we'll just press on with some Russet Brown for the leather on the belt on this Archer chap. He's got a lot more strap and beltage than the other figures. Just get that sorted. What's that? In the cat you go, Choco Brown. Yeah, it's a good colour. It's definitely like it is like a mahogany brown, I would say. I don't know how it would compare to a mahogany. I have got a mahogany brown kicking about somewhere. Could put them side by side and compare. I haven't got it in my paint rack directly in front of me, so I can't show you. It's a Vallejo paint 846, I believe, mahogany brown. I've been spending a fair bit of time looking at Vallejo paints over the past few days because we've had a hefty restock. So I've been staring at the various paint racks for Vallejo in the shop. So I've got fresh knowledge of Vallejo colours. Here we go. Mrs. MLG passing me some Mahogany Brown, so let's try this. So this is Vallejo Mahogany Brown. Oh, it's a lot lighter. It's definitely, I don't know, how would you describe that?
Pink.
Almost like a terracotta. Yeah, compared to the Green Stuff World one, it's it's definitely a lot lighter. If I thought about what I thought was mahogany, I would be using the Green Stuff World one.
That's the chocolate brown.
Oh, and this is some Vallejo chocolate brown. Oh, that's completely different again.
Grey.
Yeah, Mrs. MLG says it's grey. It's like umber, like dark umber or something like that. That one. Right, hang on. Let's hold that up to the camera a little bit closer, so hopefully you can get a better idea of colours. So,
Hang on, baby.
there we go. Right, so if I can avoid the light, there we go. So this is Vallejo Mahogany Brown. This is Vallejo Chocolate Brown. This is Green Stuff World Choco Brown. Yeah. Awesome. Right then, let us continue with Russet Brown. All the browns. Red Snail, I think it's Red Snail 72. I stand looking at Vallejo in your shop. Just wish I had more cash. Yeah, there is a lot of choice. A lot of choice. It's the only one that we haven't actually got, as far as I'm aware, Vallejo range, and we have got the paints. But we haven't got the rack on display. Is the Mecha colour, which are typically brighter airbrush paints for people who want to paint, or they're designed for people who want to paint like the Gundam type stuff and things like that. But obviously you can paint whatever you like with them. But there's some really wild colours in there, in that range. So I just don't think that we've got space for another large rack. Sharon says, I must admit I'm not a fan of Vallejo paints, but I just got Vallejo Air Scouts. It looked good in the shop and it's a fantastic colour, and the air range has consistency more similar to Reaper. And Mecha Matte Varnish is my go-to, so hard to find. Yeah, I think we need to, I think that's one that I've realised today. I was doing restocking tufts and things today, putting an order in for those this afternoon, and I realised that we are running a bit short on some of the Mecha colour stuff, so we might end up with a full rack. It just might not live on the shop floor, so we might end up with that as a full display. What's this? Tony says, Moxie, I tend to work primarily with a mix of Green Stuff World and Games Workshop paints, but also use P3 and Army Painter too. So I very rarely use Games Workshop paints. I do have some, apart from the contrast stuff, but I do have some old inks and washes, stuff that unfortunately, in the form that I have, you can't buy anymore. So I need to find some alternatives. So I have some old blue. This is one of my oldest Games Workshop paints. This is a blue ink made in France. It says blue ink in an old hex pot, and that's one of my favourites. But as you can maybe hear, there isn't much left in there. And then we also have some of these few different colours of these. So I use Thraka Green as my Orc flesh shade, and I've got some Baal Red, which I use. Baal Red, which I use for shading deep reds, but unfortunately I haven't found anything that I like quite as much of those yet. Oh, and Null Noil and Agrax Earthshade, as you may know, I use mixed together. I blend those together to make a much darker brown wash out of the two. So they're kind of my Games Workshop go-tos. And then it's just the pot design. I've got so used to everything else being in a dropper bottle, but more and more Green Stuff World paints coming into our paint selection, and then Reaper and Vallejo. And I must admit, I very rarely use any of the Army Painter paints now. I did replace all of my standard GW colours a while ago, and I used like all the kind of basic stuff. So I've got a drawer full of Games Workshop paints, but I very rarely take any of them out. If I had the time to transfer all of the GW paints into dropper bottles, I think I would use them a lot more. But I haven't. Really. So, is that going to do for that guy? That'll do. Oh no, I've missed that whole strap going over his shoulder to his quiver. Up there. There we go. Bit of that. Is everything alright? Alright.
You've been keeping everybody company.
I've been babbling.
You've been babbling, so hello to everybody. Look everyone's talking to you.
Yeah. So, hi Sparky. Tony says, exactly Sharon, apart from the Games Workshop whites and off-whites, they're a clumpy nightmare. Yeah, I agree. It's very difficult to find a good white. So I've started almost exclusively using nuclear white from Green Stuff World, which I find is really good. But also I can't complain, can't knock Reaper Pure White, which is excellent. But Mrs. MLG has the Pure White on her little painting station, and I have the Green Stuff World Nuclear White on mine. And we just use what we're using. I use a lot of Green Stuff World. Not Green Stuff World. If I'm going to use black, I have Reaper Pure Black. And do you have Pure Black, or are you still using Dragon Black? Solid Black, Mrs. Yeah, right. So we've got some Dragon Black somewhere as well, but Mrs. MLG is still using Solid Black, which is one of the HD paints that have been phased out. But Solid Black is now part of the Bones paint range. Some of the old HD paints have been consolidated into that range and given new code numbers, which I keep saying that we're going to get like a conversion chart for, but that's one of the things that I've not had time to do yet.
Gerald says that really likes matte white from Army Painter, and Tony likes the nuclear white too.
Yeah, it's really strong. Yeah, I can't really get on with many of the Army Painter colours. A lot of them, they tend to take a lot of shaking to to get to do what I want them to do, a lot to get to a good consistency. So that's why I've kind of just given up. The metallics are good, so use some rough iron on these guys. So the like the edges of the shields and the helmets and stuff, that's rough iron from Army Painter. But their regular colours are not up to the same standard, I don't think, as a lot of other brands.
Well, so be right back, story time. The last chapter of Billionaire Boy. I act out voices, but forget who's who. It's exactly what I do as well.
Yeah.
And then everybody ends up with the same voice. Karen says, I must admit I'm very fussy. The one thing I hate about going to world paint is that the bottle is hard to squeeze. Is it? I have very weak hands and it takes me both hands to squeeze them. Wow. Honestly, never noticed, but then I just don't think I've noticed. Maybe that's that. I started off painting, all those many moons ago in January last year with Army Painter paints, but have moved on since then to Green Stuff World and Reaper, and can tell a definite difference. You definitely need to water down Army paints a lot more. They're a lot thicker, aren't they? Which I think is why they take a lot more shaking.
Sorry. What's Billionaire Boy then? Is that is it a play or something? I don't know.
Well, it must be a book if Mox is reading.
Yeah. Is it? I don't know. Sparky, is that is it like a play? Is it a David Walliams thing or something that they've adapted for the stage or a film? I don't know. I'm not up with common trends and stuff.
I don't know. He doesn't know. He's not
Fair.
going, he doesn't know.
Fair enough.
It sounds like a David Walliams type thing. When Mox comes back, we'll have to ask him it does sound like some kind of David Walliams thing, doesn't it? We haven't got any of those books because Little Miss didn't like them. She got a couple for free in some kind of book club thing, but like short snippets of them, but she didn't enjoy them, so we haven't bothered.
No.
She has got lots and lots and lots of books.
She has.
What are you reading?
The last thing that we read a bit of was that guy. Kid Normal. Kid Normal, which is written by one of the... I don't even know if he still does, but he used to be a radio presenter on Radio 1.
And we read Dave the Naughtiest Unicorn.
Kid Normal and the Rogue Heroes is the one that we're on at the moment.
And we've got
But we've...
the boy
Oh yeah, the boy who flew with dragons. She's not quite so bothered about that anymore. We're on to like book 5 or something. And it's... Yeah, I think we've moved on.
She still makes Grandad read The Land of Green Ginger, which is a book about constantly over and over and over. But anyway, enough about that, mate.
Yeah.
You were doing so well talking about painting and I've come back and interrupted.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So, this guy is undoubtedly the leader of the little war party or whatever. So, he seems to have a lot more going on, better armour and stuff, more equipment. This guy. But we're nearly done with Russet Brown. And then I might use, seeing as I've squidged it out on my palette, I might even use some of this chocolate brown, this Vallejo chocolate brown, because that might be better than the colour I was going to use. So for the next bit, double coat that, make it a little bit sturdier. Just give that Tony says it's time to inspect Cthulhu to see if the latest lair is dry yet. Yeah, that's one thing about big models, isn't it? Like making sure that they're fully dry before you move on to the next thing. With Mal, when I painted the whole thing red, it's waiting for it to dry before you can do anything else with it. After last night's stream, I glued all the various bits of Mal together. Well, apart from her wings, of course. But have we got everything we need to do on there? Well, let's just do the binding on that sword with this. So I'll show you that in a second. It is huge.
Sparky says, so is malformed? Sherry says, that's why I always start sewing things at a time. Superimposition is the only way I let me dry is on painting in the beginning.
Yeah.
We did have a whole conversation on Discord about assembly and sub-assembly. Whole discussion about it.
So there we go. There's so I've left these heads off so I can paint the heads. But yeah, definitely needs another coat. I'm a bit disappointed by this joint here. I don't know what I can do with it. I don't know whether to attempt filling that, but then I know I won't be able to sand it, so I might just pretend it's not there. I don't know. I'll see if it bothers me when
zoomed out a bit.
when we get to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, excellent.
So if you move it down towards the top.
Yeah. So there we go. So this is the body of Mal. It's got two more neck pieces that go on there. Just need to finish, give it another all-over coat of red, and see how we go with that, and finish the black down the spines, and then we can get on with all the shading and the highlighting and all the rest of it. So awesome. That's how she's coming on. And then these still need a little bit more work, but they're the heads. So this one's I'm gonna bring it up to white because this is the white head. Blue head is obviously blue, black, and green. Green needs a bit of work still as well, and then all the teeth and everything else need painting in there, and then horns and all the other bits and pieces. So awesome. I won't bore you by showing you the wings that we did last night. We haven't really done anything else with those yet. So let's use some of this Choco Brown that we've got here to paint in their trousers, I think. Perfect. Colour. Just loads of different browns. Browns on Orcs. So the colour that I used, I don't know if I mentioned it already, but the colour that I used for the boots and the other bits and pieces that I had already painted is Vallejo German Camo Black Brown.
Another turtle made it to the water.
Starting brown. This is LOD's payment. I'm actually painting brown as well. I've decided that even though I hate brown, I must really like it because I seem to paint only brown, despite the fact I don't like it. Still not found I like it.
And what are you painting with your brown, my dear?
This dude. This dude on this thing. Killer boss on great gnash tooth. Thank you for the
Thank you. Gunwitch UK. Thank you. Can I show everybody your handiwork?
Oh no, it's horrible. You can't show me.
Alright, okay.
It's just got some brown on it. It's literally just got some brown. Look, it's just brown. There's nothing to
Okay,
see. There's nothing
okay.
to see.
All right then.
There's nothing
Okay.
to see.
So Mrs. MLG volunteered to help paint some of my backlog of minis. So I showed her a few things that she could paint, and she chose
Tony's doing me again.
she chose the killer boss on Gnashtooth from the Dominion box set. Yeah, available from Mighty Lancer Games, absolutely. It's an awesome set, and the minis in it are absolutely fantastic. The new... Bye, Mini Sparks. See you later. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. It's nice to see you.
What was I saying? Yeah, Dominion. Really good. Really good. The new Stormcast are, I think, the best Stormcast minis that they've produced. And the new proportions of the figures don't look so cartoony. They like the older guys. I think they look really smart. And the new Cruel Boys Orcs, in a kind of similar way to these guys that I'm painting here, they do look more like classic fantasy orcs rather than... I've seen them described as Persian orcs, but yeah, they do look like a lot cooler than some like the big bulky square jaw type stuff. And I realise that's weird for me to say, seeing as I've spent the last couple of weeks painting these guys, which are massive square bulky orcs, but there you go, let's get it so you can actually see it on the camera. But I really like these because they're really heavily armoured, but they're like other savage orcs and what have you. Look a bit cartoony, I think. Sharon says that she loves the orcs in the Dominion set, but doesn't like Stormcast Eternals. I'm sure there'd be plenty of folks that would take them off your hands for a reasonable fee, Sharon. I like seeing when people have painted them in alternative colour schemes. So I've seen someone that's painted all their Stormcast in with black armour rather than the usual gold or silver, and they look really cool. And I saw some like maroon coloured ones as well, which were highlighted up to an almost bright pink, which I'm sure Pete would like. Yeah, quite funky.
We were talking about pink on this club today, that full grim pink.
Full grim pink, yeah, light pink.
We were talking about that.
I think it's a bit like the Reaper breast cancer awareness pink. Full grim pink. Yeah, there's like just so many nice models. As I was showing Mrs. MLG a picture, that's Russet Brown. Gone for the wrong brown. Just getting myself carried away. If I just put that chocolate brown straight over the top, nobody will ever know this one.
No, it's fine. No one's watching anyway. Shh, don't tell.
Um,
Yeah, we can't really see what you're doing. So
can't hear why?
it's tiny, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, so after the stream finishes this evening, we're going to have a tinker with an alternative camera to see if we can get it to work. Mrs. MLG has a good... was good like 10 years ago, DSLR camera. And after our recent experience with webcam that we've had to send back because it's poop. I've done a little bit of research and we're going to try Mrs. MLG's DSLR and see if we can. I've done it again. I've painted his trouser, one trouser leg with chocolate brown and one with russet brown.
Any move it?
Can't because they're next to each other on the palette. No, I'll just paint over the top. Be fine. It's only a thin layer anyway, isn't it? So it's fine. It'll paint over. Okay. So.
What are you doing now?
So yeah, what we're doing. So I'm painting chocolate brown onto this guy's trousers. Just like that. Must be a little bit of a recess there. We'll get that sorted. Right, so that's his trousers, and then there's a bit of a sleeve there, so we'll do that in the same. So this is my guy I'm going to submit for the RCL.
What's his back? You can ask him a question about the billionaire boy.
Yeah, who's Billionaire Boy by Moxie? Is that a David Walliams thingy? And what's a Penangolin Tony? I've heard of that before, but I don't know what it is. I'm going to try and finish another hydrate. Anna wig me.
I bet you ain't got them.
No. They're all the way over there. Would you wig me, my darling?
I'm going. Got your red one?
Whatever, you'll pick.
It's on top.
Oh, right, okay.
There you go.
Thanks. This fetching one, I like this one. I like yeah. Anyway. It's a Japanese type female vampire whose head detaches at night to hunt for blood.
Moxie says yes. David runs. We thought it must be. We had a debate while you were gone.
Yeah.
And then our conversation about kids' books.
So yeah, my goal is to get Maldrakar finished this month so I can use it as the end level boss. Oh, I love it. Awesome.
Aries dancing too. Well done, Aries. I bet you're doing a better job than Nathan is. Yeah, for the great MLG brush off.
Yeah, for the great MLG brush off, my goal is to get Maldrakar finished.
Are you going to tell us about it?
This month. So yeah, the great MLG brush off, a fun painting community challenge, shall we say? Just a good thing to get involved with, not for prizes or anything. Just to no judgment. Just get some mini painted. And this month's theme, picked by our Discord community, is end level boss. So it's something that you would meet at the end of an RPG campaign or computer game or something similar, and something that you might come up against. So I'm going to try and get Maldrakar finished. Been working on it for a little while, so I need to pull my finger out and get her done. So I'm going to try and get Maldricar finished, because you really wouldn't want to meet her at the end of a campaign, I would imagine. The mother of dragons, shall we say. And then the... what are you going to do, Mrs.? You haven't decided yet, have you?
Doing this thing.
So Mrs. MLG is going to submit the killer boss on Gnashtooth as the end level boss thing. And we were watching Goblin Squire after our stream last night, and he is going to do a goblin armoured boss from Reaper Miniatures as his. So if you were going through like a first level dungeon or whatever, you would come up against a goblin boss as you're a bad guy. So that's pretty cool. So I mean, it doesn't have to be a huge whacking great mini. Just so happened that I was working on Mal anyway, so just an incentive to get it finished. And then there's various other challenges for the rest of the year.
There's one
Different theme every month, and we've already scheduled all the challenges in advance, so you can check them out and plan what minis you're going to do in advance. And if you're not already a member of our Discord, maybe check that out. It's entirely free, no Patreon membership or anything like that required to be a member of the MLG Discord. It's a family friendly and inclusive place for you to come and chat about minis and painting and all sorts of board games and any aspect of the hobby, or indeed pets or whatever else goes on in there.
I'm thinking Fungal Queen for the brush off, but I'm not 100% decided yet. And Sharon says, oh nice, she could be Zuchtmoy?
Yes, I think that was the idea for from Reaper. I think that was the idea, that it was supposed to represent Zuchtmoy, because a few of their large demons are very typically following the descriptions of the demon lords. So there's a spider demon queen, which is almost certainly Lolth. And then my son had thrown reason at me and said I should choose one of the minis I already have for the Great British Bush Off. I failed as a father, so I'm painting Darth Maul from Star Wars Legion. And Tony, I presume that's about the Zuchtmoy thing. Yeah, it's because the thing's rotated now and I can't see the other bit. But it's is that Zuchtmoy's the end boss for the Temple of Elemental Evil, Tony? But yeah, there's minis for most of the greater demon type things from the D&D universe, but obviously they can't use official D&D titles for them. I think it's all the copywriting reasonings. Can't get my words out this evening, do apologise.
It's that wake expecting your brain.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we came up against Zuchtmoy in Out of the Abyss. In with the all the mushroom people and the blobs and all the other stuff. I painted my Fungal Queen. Bear with me a second while I grab her out of the cabinet. Where is she?
Got to see the full extent of how long that wig is then.
Yeah. So this is my Fungal Queen that I painted as a limited palette. She's got a bit of stuff on there. Painted her as the limited palette challenge for the RCL last year, and I think it was purple, brown, and orange were the colours to use for the month. So that's why she's purple, brown, and orange. So very very purple on there. But I really enjoyed painting her. I thought she was really cool. I love this massive bonnet. I think I put her in the sub box at one point, didn't I? Yeah, because that was why I painted her on sub box Monday, I think. But yeah, that's mine. But you could do all sorts of stuff with that. You could paint her however you want. You could paint her in whatever bright colours you wanted. Really? Oh, it's 5 to 9. Didn't realise. So I'm going to paint the wood. I'm going to paint the shields and the other bits and pieces. Excuse me. Bye, Moxie. Thank you.
Thank you, Moxie. Take care.
So I'm just going to get some Reaper Shield Brown. And we're going to paint the wood on the things, and then we will call it a night, and we'll have a tinker with our other camera, and then we'll see how that goes. Off stream. I always put too much paint on the wet palette, which I should really get better at. So this is Shield Brown, which is like quite a light colour. But when I've been looking at all those Vallejo paints, there's one of those which is old wood, and that's really similar to this, like a light colour. This kind of makes me think. Now I know that this is maybe a bit sad, but when I was a kid, my parents have quite a large garden. We used to grow a lot of vegetables and stuff, and the fork and the spade that my dad used to use sometimes got left out in the rain and stuck in the potato patch or whatever. And because they'd weathered so much, the handle was like quite worn, and it was this kind of colour. I guess like I always think of wood as being like darker, but I don't know what actual kind of wood it would be. Would it maybe be beech or something like that? I don't know. For something that give it a little bit of spring while you're digging. But it was definitely this kind of tone, like a lighter, almost beige brown. And it kind of brings back childhood memories of digging potatoes up in the garden, feeling like I was some kind of trapped in a poem or something from when we were at school. English potato digging Seamus Heaney poem. Anyway, enough waffle. Let's talk about painting. Shield Brown. Shield Brown's really good, and Driftwood Brown is a little bit lighter and is great for highlighting this. So Shield.
Stella says it's a Hovis moment. We just need Lager playing in the background, and it'll be all good.
Yeah.
You'll start telling us how far it was to walk to school soon, and you'll coal for Christmas.
Yeah, that's about right.
What are you painting?
So yeah, I'm just gonna work my way round this guy. So he's got this big round shield on his back. So it's got some beautiful wood grain modelled into there. So we're just gonna paint that in with this Driftwood Brown. Is it Driftwood Brown? Shield Brown. Sorry, Shield Brown. Driftwood Brown. I was just waffling on about how that's a good highlight colour for this.
Oh, so you set Sparky off now. I had to walk all the way from West Hill to Hilderthorpe School. Oh, even with 10 inches of snow on the ground, I bet, Sparky.
Yeah.
Was that after the paper round as well?
Yeah. I had to walk from Victoria Road almost to like the other end, like the outskirts of town at the other side of town.
Hard done to.
Yeah.
I had to walk up a massive hill, but none of you will know what I'm talking about because I ain't from around here.
Yeah, southerner.
Southerner?
Yeah.
How is that southern?
It's more south than Yorkshire.
We're more south than Scotland, what's your point?
That's alright. Scottish people would probably call us southerners, wouldn't they? Anyway.
They probably just call us English, to be fair.
Yeah. It is true.
You're alright. You carry on.
Okay. So this guy with his massive axe, he's getting a bit of old wood colour on here as well. Some shield brown on the haft of his massive axe. I don't know what I'm going to paint. After I've painted these guys, what am I going to paint? Oh, I do know what I'm going to paint. I'm going to paint Giselle. Tony has done an awesome job of painting Giselle, the sorceress. Hi, Reese. How you doing?
Reese got summoned to Discord earlier. He said his name 3 times.
Oh, right. Why?
Because
It's his day off.
because we reached 200 followers in Discord, and he said if we did that, he was going to throw us a royal disco party.
All right.
Not exactly know how that is feasible, but we're all waiting now for our roller disco party.
Awesome. I didn't know you were into roller disco, Reese.
I don't think it was his idea. I think he got railroaded from, it'd be really cool when we get to 200, to us just making up nonsense as we went along, like normally happens in our Discord. I think it was more like that. Tony probably started it with the discussions of leg warmers.
I see. Yeah, Tony's. I've lost my train of thought again. Tony's done an awesome job with Giselle, and I need to get Giselle completed because we're going to submit that as a duo for the RCL, and then I've also committed myself to a second duo with Wicked D for the Ogre Matron.
Second duo?
Yeah, because they both wanted to do duos, so I've said I'll do both. So Ogre Matron, I have made a start on. She's undercoated. I had some leftover undercoat the other day, so she got undercoated with German Red Brown, and that's the bottom area that Wicked D was mentioning yesterday. So she's going to be a work in progress, and the other one, Giselle. Looking forward to painting Giselle. It's a really nice model. And I hadn't realised until I'd seen Tony's painted one, because I hadn't actually seen it painted, is that she's actually got a split up the front of her dress so you can see her leg, and I hadn't realised that was a thing. So I shall have to brush up on my flesh painting techniques. Ready for that, because I want to make sure I do a good job of painting her. She reminds me very much of the Fey Enchantress from the old Bretonian range, the Bretonian sorceresses from Games Workshop. Now that was like when they reimagined them in the early 90s, rather than like the kind of second reboot that they got, which I wasn't a big fan of. Right, so what I'm going to do on this shield, so it looks like his shield's clad in something, but it's missing a chunk here. So I'm going to paint this chunk where it's missing with the wood, and then I'm going to do the front section there. I'm going to paint that in with black. That's going to be like blackened leather or something over the front, but it'll have this section missing here, so it looks like wood after it's been slashed through.
Oh, there you go,
Yeah, but does that work though? I don't know. I mean, I whatever we need to do, I like the idea, but I don't know if that works. If we can do a, can you do a trio, and some of you submit it as a trio and some of you submit it as a duo? I don't know. We could ask. Yeah, I think Tony and Wicked D both need a duo, so that was why I was doing both. I mean, I don't mind because they were all models that I wanted to paint anyway.
So Tony and Wicked D both need a duo, and you don't mind doing, say, Tony's for no points?
Yeah.
Well, let's just leave it at that then.
And then I'll do a trio of something else. If anybody else needs a trio doing, we can do a trio. Sure I can squeeze it in.
Oh, Wicked D says she hasn't got a trio either.
Ah.
This is very confusing now. So you, Sharon, and Wicked D do a trio of the Ogre, is that what?
I know, but that.
And then you and Tony do a duo.
All right, okay. Well, fair enough. Why don't we do that? If Sharon wants to paint the ogre, then we could do that.
You have to discuss it on Discord.
Yeah, but then so then Sharon said like there. Tony might have the ogre matriarch and need a trio as well. So then we could.
Yeah, but then you won't have your duo. Who needs a duo? Sharon says, I want to paint everything.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll get on the Discord and.
Tony is in a trio with Jake and Dave. So you stick with Tony and your duo,
right?
Which is your woman, isn't it?
Yes.
And you, Wicked D, and Sharon do the ogre as a trio.
Right. But has Sharon already got a trio?
But she says she doesn't mind doing it for her points.
Right. But then Wicked D needs a duo.
Do you still need a duo then, Wicked D? Don't you get more points for a trio? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Well, that don't work either, Sharon, because Wicked D needs a trio as well. Talk about it in the Discord. I mean, you tell us what you painted and you can discuss it in there.
Okay. So, yeah, just... I can't remember what colour I'm using. Shield Brown. I'm using Shield Brown from Reaper Miniatures and 9161. And just painting this guy's bow with it at the moment. And then I've got one guy left with a shield to do, and then that is it. We'll call it a night for this evening. So, and then I'll get on the Discord after we've sorted out camera doings. I'll get on the Discord later, and we can discuss duos and trios and other bits and pieces. Awesome. What am I going to do there? I'm going to paint the binding on that sword, or the handle on that sword, with my Shield Brown here, or sword dagger thingy that this guy has got. That's going to get some Shield Brown too. Right, so that's that guy, and then last guy. He's got a shield. So his shield is very similar to the other guy's shield in that it's got like a kind of binding on that side and then just a bit of a split there. So I'm just going to paint that like bit of a split in with the wood colour, and the same on this side. And then we'll do the rest of it with the black, and on the inside here we'll do it with the black Awesome. Right. So cool. That's all the wood. All the wood sorted. So we're going to call it a night there, and then we're going to have a bit of a play with some webcam type stuff and sort out a little order with Rosemary and Co. And then we'll get some, work in progress pictures. Tony's just prompted me there. I know he's not talking about me, but we'll get work in progress pictures up of stuff that we've been working on. And we'll get those uploaded to the Discord and stuff. So here's my little warband as they currently stand. Coming along nicely. Still a fair bit to do if I can hold them. Still a fair bit to do to get them up to the right level. This guy pointing on the side. There we are. Yeah, I know exactly where they are, Reese. You just need to remind me and I'll get them out for you. Remind me tomorrow. So, thank you very much everybody for coming. Thank you for all of your kind words about my rubbish painting. And thank you, Sharon. And goodbye, everybody. Hopefully we'll see you on our next stream, which will definitely be Monday, possibly Sunday. So thank you very much, everyone. See you later. Bye.